Welcome back to what episode 5 of the BFG or BFR. BFG.
I've already run out of how many numbers that we've done of this so far. Let's just call it episode 100. Let's do it. Blood Feud Radio, baby. Let's go.
So this one is going to be a really fun. It's only five.
Yeah.
A list of 5 that we both put together. I don't know. I only know one from his list. He doesn't know any from mine, so this should be fun.
But it's going to be wrestling's or WWE's most important moments in history. Things that changed the business. Matt asked me to specify it today because he went at it from a different point of view, and I was like, it's literally up to your interpretation. Because you said you've gone at it from the business standpoint, right?
Well, no, that I have a list for the business, but I also all mine were actually in the universe itself, in the WWE universe, just moments in time that changed the trajectory for a lot of things.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear what yours are then, dude. I think you should go first then.
Number 5, coming in number 5, there's a double meaning behind this. WrestleMania 35, the event, and of course the main event. The main event specifically because it was the first time women main evented WrestleMania.
Yes, yeah.
It was a moment in time that everything. It was just a moment in time that we were all waiting, and my dog loves it too because he's squeaking the shit out of his toy.
I can tell. Yeah, he loves Becky Lynch.
He loves that Becky Lynch won that match. Became Becky 2 belts.
Yeah.
Another reason number 35 is important. It's the last single night WrestleMania we ever had.
It was, yeah, 2019, right before COVID, right? So, yeah. It was one of the longest shows WWE's ever put on, to my recollection as well. I remember watching that live, dude.
It was 16 matches deep.
Yeah, I remember watching that live. And as a fan from the UK, that was a marathon for real. Dude, we started watching that shit at 11 o'clock for the pre-show. It didn't finish until 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've seen work days that are shorter than that. It's ridiculous. And some of the matches were terrible, but the main event, like you say, is so important. That triple threat main event changed the trajectory of the women's division. I mean, you already had women making strides in that division, but after that, it's never been the same, and it's only been going up and up from there. You had the rise of the man Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. Love her or hate her, she belongs in the main event quite a lot. She's very talented. Let's not speak of the other person that was there. I don't even remember who it is. I forget her name slips me right now.
I think it was Ronda Rousey.
Something like that. Some bitch, I don't know. So after that, though, you've got main events of women featuring Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair. The list of the great women goes on and on. Recently, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair, and then Rhea Ripley, just changing the the way that people see women's wrestling. I mean, you could argue that the triple threat women's match at WrestleMania this year, Io, Rhea, and Bianca, was probably match of the night. So it's so nice to see how far wrestling has come. Funnily enough, all the way from 2015, 10 years, Takeover New York up until now. And then, like you say, the catalyst was WrestleMania 35.
Yeah, that was number 5 on my list. The main event specifically, but then I started like looking at everything else that was with WrestleMania 35, and again, it was the last time we saw a one night WrestleMania.
Yeah, never again. And I'm kind of glad of it, to be honest. I really enjoy the fact that we have 2 nights. I think it's like really interesting that we get that now. And obviously, like, we're seeing SummerSlam become a 2-night affair. The Royal Rumble apparently is becoming a 2-night affair next year. So I think it's just better, especially when you have like a big 4 pay-per-view as big as they are. So yeah, I'm glad for that. My number 5, and I was thinking of putting it in order, but I wasn't 100% sure on some of these because I went for like something that was just as important as the other. I just tried my best to do that. So I'm going to match you for a WrestleMania. I'm going to say WrestleMania 1. And it's not the best WrestleMania of all time. Does it hold up these days? No, not really. But without WrestleMania, you probably wouldn't have WrestleMania 41 because WWE bet everything on this. There's a lot of speculation that Vince put all of his money into WrestleMania 1 and it was either going to be a hit or a miss. And fortunately for him, it was a hit. You had the rise of Hulkamania thanks to the connection with Rock and Wrestling. Obviously, Mr. T was at WrestleMania 1. That WrestleMania 1 is just iconic for the amount of celebrities that are there. Yeah, WrestleMania 1 changed the business forever without a shadow of a doubt. It launched the most successful wrestling, not just WWE, wrestling pay-per-view of all time. And it is absolutely cemented in WWE history.
Absolutely, that was one of my honorable mentions. It didn't make my list just because it to me it goes without saying. Like I didn't need to. For me, I didn't need to add that to cement it, and I kind of was thinking that you were going to have it on your list, so I was trying also to piece together things that you might not have on your list, and just like so we can include it all on our top 10.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I was very split between either putting WrestleMania 1 on there or Hogan beating the Iron Sheik for the WWF title.
now shout out to Cody Cornette. We were talking earlier today discussing this exact same thing, and I'm assuming he's watching or listening. He has Hogan and Sheik in his top 5.
Yeah, and it was very close to getting into mine. And like, if it was going to be a top 10, that was probably going to be number 6. That's how close I was to putting it in there. Without a shadow of a doubt, change the business, launch Hulk Hogan into the stratosphere. But I was thinking more from a wrestling standpoint, a company standpoint. WrestleMania 1, I think, like more widely changed WWE as a whole.
Okay.
Yeah, if that makes sense. That
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 5. What's yours, number 4?
Number 4 is King of the Ring 1996. The birth of Austin 316.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
that
one.
promo in and of itself sent Stone Cold Steve Austin on a journey that no one will ever touch again. I just his trajectory. If he doesn't get hurt, if Owen Hart doesn't spike him, we might have seen something different.
Yeah, like a longer career.
And I put Stone Cold on my Mount Rushmore. Like Stone Cold is one of those guys that he is the top 4 of all time.
I think it's very hard not to put him there, really. And like you say, this was the beginning of Austin 316.
This was the beginning. A lot of people can say that this could have been the beginning of when the Attitude Era really took off, because him cutting that promo on Jake Roberts, you say you're thumping your Bible, saying your prayers, John 3:16. Well, Austin 3:16 just says I kicked your ass.
And it was very much different. And like you say, because it was 1996, you had all of these colorful characters. And I think the only ones that didn't really match the colorful characters in 96 was like Sid and Austin. And this was like, it was like a totally different direction than the rest of the TV that WWE was producing as a product. And this really stood out. And like you say, this was the launching pad for Austin 316. Like you see it all the time on like replays of his career, on the most iconic moments in WWE history. That's such a solid choice. I can't argue with that at all, man.
So Sean, from everyone's friend group, Viscera is the greatest light heavyweight champion of all time.
Viscera, yeah, I can't deny that. Yeah, best light heavyweight champion, greatest King of the Ring winner of all time. You know,
and we might have to have a discussion about that later on down the road, but you know.
Yeah, and arguably the best ministry member. I can't think of anyone else who was important in the corporate ministry. So yeah, Viscera for the win. Yeah, 100%. I'm going to match you again, and my number 4 is, and this could be like I won't say an argument point, but like a debate point, because like you said, like maybe King of the Ring 96 was like the seeds were laid for the Attitude Era. My number 4 is Bret versus Austin at WrestleMania 13.
Another Austin moment.
yeah. And I think this, if 96 was the kickoff point or like, you know, the launch point, then WrestleMania 13 was when people really started to pay attention. The build up to WrestleMania 13, you felt it in the air. The crowd was so like switching to cheering for Austin, even though he was a heel. The crowd were getting a little bit more smarky, you know, like cheering for the heels. Like they were a big fan of Sid. They were a big fan of Austin. And this was a real changing of the guard moment. A lot of people talk about WrestleMania 14 being the proper changing of the guard when Austin won the WWF title from Michaels. I think WrestleMania was a very much, WrestleMania 13 the year before was a very much of changing of the guard, because for a long time you had Bret Hart as the guy in WWE after Hogan. They really strapped the wagon to Bret, let him be the poster boy, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin came around. Michaels obviously was making a big name for himself in 95, 96, but Austin was really the crowd favorite in terms of, he is like us. He's like, you know, let's cheer for the guy who looks and talks like us. And that submission match at WrestleMania 13 is not just regarded as one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time. It's the best double turn of all time. Bret turns heel, Austin turns face. And that's where it all kicked off. After that, you had Bret doing what he did on his way out of the company. But there was no stopping Austin after that. The crowd were totally behind him, and it was only the only way was up for him from there.
I mean, I guess we could put our answers together for number 4 and just say the year of 1996 in the WWE.
Hell yeah, yeah. Let's do 96/97. Yeah, because like like that 6 months of King of the Ring and then to WrestleMania. In 97. Yeah. Well, let's just do that. I'm willing to compromise and say that
100%. Number 3, I think you're going to really enjoy. For me, it's Roman returns at SummerSlam 2020.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That to me was the jump off, the launching point of the Bloodline.
Yes.
If he doesn't come back and do what he does to Braun Strowman and The Fiend, and then teams up with Paul Heyman the next on the next show, we don't have the bloodline.
We don't have the next 5 years of the most.
Exactly. That's how monumental him coming back at SummerSlam 20 was.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, we can talk ad nauseum about the bloodline and how influential this, and how it carried us through the last 4 years. I mean, it's fading away now, which, as all good things, they unfortunately have to come to an end. But
they do.
With this 2020, from 2020 until 2023, so really 3 years of Roman just being the man.
Even up until 2024, dude. Like that, I think that was when Cody beat him, right? Yeah. So
for 4 years, he carried the company as
100%.
I don't want to. I'm not taking a shot at Roman. He carried the company as a part timer. That's how influential him coming back at 2020 was.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we talked about this last week. He definitely did turn into a part timer. There's no denying that. He showed up a lot less. But in terms of that run that he had in 2020, and then I dare to say for the majority of 2021, he was there nearly every single week on SmackDown. I think a lot of people forget that. He was having his title defenses against like your Cesaros, your Matt Riddles, your Daniel Bryans on SmackDown. He was showing up for tag team matches. He was showing up for segments. So a lot of like 2021, Roman was there for. And then, he turned into a part-time. I don't think anyone is going to argue with that. But you look at the landscape of WWE now and who is popular and who is at the top of the card and who the fans are cheering for. None of those people are in that position, or maybe in different positions without the bloodline storyline, because that storyline touched everybody in them 4 years.
So before you get to your number 3, Scott, the boss, comes in and he says, "What a couple marks."
Well, I have something to say to you at the end. I'll tell you what.
Then Cody goes, "I don't think there's either one of them is named Mark."
How do you know? I've just been like, like working you the whole time, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. Don't work yourself into a shoot. My number 3.
Your number 3.
I'll match you again. And it has something to do with Roman Reigns, but it's a couple of years earlier. My number 3 is the debut of the Shield.
Okay.
Because without the Shield, you don't have the 3 biggest people in wrestling right now. You just don't. You don't have Roman Reigns, you don't have Jon Moxley, and you don't have Seth Rollins. That I don't know how else to say that. And it's as simple as that. You do not have those 3 people. You don't have the bloodline storyline. You don't have Seth Rollins basically just being the workhorse of the past, 15 years now?
Yeah.
You don't have Jon Moxley being Jon Moxley over in AEW. Say whatever you want about him. The guy's a freaking animal when it comes to his work rate. He's fantastic. And the stuff that he did in WWE, I have full faith that he'll probably come back one day, I hope. But those 3 guys are just so influential for wrestling at the moment and have been for the past at least 10 years. You don't get any of that without the Shield. The night that they debuted is one of the most important moments in wrestling history. I believe it's Survivor Series 2012. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It changed wrestling forever. It's one of those moments where you look back on it and see those 3 young guys just taking out Ryback and Punk, and you think, wow, look where we are now.
Oh no, they didn't touch Punk, remember?
No, you're right. They didn't. Yeah, they it was just Ryback. Yeah. And they put him through the table, and Punk retained the championship. And you just look at it now and you think, wow, like it's crazy how far we've come from that and to where we are now, where all these guys are in the business.
Number 2 on my list is not a WWE moment. It's Bash at the Beach, 96.
I'll
It
let you have
is
that one. Yeah.
Hogan turns heel.
Yeah.
Everyone's mega babyface turns heel and takes the industry and flips it on its ear.
At such the
NWO
perfect time as
forming.
well.
NWO forming is number 2 as far as. I mean, it's 2 as far as influential and like important moments in the history of the business.
Yeah. And it's a babyface heel turn done right, unlike your Cena, but that's a
Oh my
conversation for a
god,
different day.
we can talk about that ad nauseum.
Yeah, and like speaking of nauseum, that's how I was feeling 3 months into that heel turn. But Hogan turning heel, and he did it at such a perfect time as well. The crowd was starting to get bored of Hulkamania, Hulk rules, etc. Hogan was scared to do it. There was talks of him maybe backing out at the last minute, and he made more money selling merch for the NWO than he's probably ever made in his life.
Yep.
And that's what he was worried about initially, because heels didn't sell merch. But it was 1996, dude. Like, mid 90s, late 90s, like the heels were becoming, well, the faces, I suppose, because that's who the crowd wanted to see. So Hogan made the best business decision he's ever made in his life when he turned heel that day. It
Absolutely.
changed the landscape of wrestling forever.
Absolutely. It was I mean, that's something that my brother still to this day puts as like the reason he got back into wrestling. Like that really set him into that, made him a super fan at that point, because wrestling became cool again.
Yeah.
Um,
You're right.
that's why
You're right.
that's why this one makes my top. Uh, my number 2 on my list is definitely NWO forming, and even though the longer the NWO was around, the stinkier it was. Like
Yeah.
it just got really bad at the end, and it's like, oh my god, why do we have NWO Hollywood, NWO
2000
Wolfpack,
Yeah.
the LWO was formed, and like it was just like, why are we doing this? But
Yeah. It jumped the shark.
and
It jumped the shark.
I think I had heard. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cody. You're the what do you call it? You're the stat guy.
Fountain of knowledge.
He's the stat guy. I want to say the NWO at one point had 61 total members.
Yeah, like more than half the roster or something, wasn't it?
It was stupid.
It was so dumb. It was so stupid.
Malik, thanks for joining, buddy.
What's going on, dude?
Always a pleasure to have you in the stream.
Not spoke to you for a while, man. Good to see you.
And Cody says correct. It was 61 people.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. That is unbelievable.
And it was, I don't know.
I just think that it went on for too long, and it was WCW's cash cow, and I can understand why they didn't want to get rid of it. But there was more ways of changing it up and switching it up, instead of let's add 10 more members, or let's switch up the faction, or let's split it in two, let's have a gang war between the NWO factions. It's like, oh no, like you just it's jumped the shark, like I said before. Like it's got to the point where this isn't enjoyable to watch anymore. It sounds like people are writing backstage for their own entertainment instead of the benefit of the audience.
NW North, NW South, NW.
Honestly, dude, yeah.
Like NWO UK. Like, come on.
Yeah. 61 members. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you're number 2, sir. This is going to be.
So my number 2 is going to be the pipe bomb. And
now, I, as a Punk fan, fought so hard to not. I wanted it in my top 5, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it because there was one other moment that kind of pushed it out, and it's number 1. But go on.
Well, I say the pipe bomb because I have a lot of people who are wrestling fans now who had fallen out of love with wrestling who got drawn back in because of the pipe bomb. Not just that, CM Punk is arguably the most popular wrestler of the past 2 decades. He is a cultural figure, not just a wrestler. You see people who aren't even wrestling fans in CM Punk shirts because they're so like people just know who CM Punk is. He made such an impact on wrestling that he disappeared for 7 years and people chanted his name all the way through. Like the amount of speculation, the amount of content, the amount of views that videos were getting, if they just simply mentioned, "Oh, CM Punk possibly returning," it's unbelievable. Phil Brooks is, without a shadow of a doubt, probably one of the most influential, popular wrestlers of all time, and that pipe bomb just lives in infamy, not just as a CM Punk promo, but I mean, I guarantee you could pick a line from that promo, any line out of context, and people would probably be able to say the next line or know exactly what promo that you're talking about. It's so influential, and it changed the business. It just did change the business forever because it made people wake up and realize, wait, this bullshit, this diatribe that WWE are mostly putting out, we don't want that. We want more of this. And eventually we did start getting that.
Now, my question for you is this. Where, oh, where are my ice cream bars?
They're in my freezer right now, dude. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, when he said, like, that's one that, like, really sticks out in my head. See, we could honestly make a top 5 list of CM Punk promos.
Yeah, you really could. Even from that year alone.
Yeah. Like the whole...
A little bit where Triple H was like, the Kevin Nash one was great. Yeah. LOL thought he was dead.
Yeah.
The one where Triple H was like, "What happened to your movie?" And he was like, "Oh, mine went straight to DVD like yours."
But no, the pipe bomb was floating in that. It was floating in that space of, or I wasn't sure how influential it was to the overall of the company. And
for my generation, like it's very influential. Just like I say, like for you, probably Hulkamania, very influential. Like the pipe bomb for us, like lives in infamy for my generation.
My number 1 is not Hulkamania. That would be definitely one that could be talked about. My number 1 is the streak ending.
I was so like you and your pipe bomb, dude. I was so tempted to try and get this in my top 5, but I couldn't find a place for it.
The moment itself was weird because I'll sit here today. That was back in WrestleMania 30. That was 10 years ago.
2014, yeah. It was a long time ago now, dude.
11 years ago. No, wait. So because we just had 41. So yeah, it was 11 years ago.
11 years.
It was such a big deal. That's what people talked about over Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
Like they talked about that more than they talked about Daniel Bryan winning the championship
yeah,
that night.
it's insane, isn't it? But I mean,
And
but it's
in my
because of
opinion, the
the
streak should
aura.
never have been broken. There's two people that should have broken the streak, and Brock Lesnar was not one of them. Brock Lesnar he had nothing to gain from beating the streak. Nothing. He was
No, he
already a
didn't.
made man. He was already the beast. He was already the guy that was gonna end Cena's career. He was gonna he had no like that match was dumb.
I agree. I mean, did it add to his aura? Yes. Did he need it? No, he didn't.
There was two, like
Uh,
I said, there's two people that should have beat him.
who would you say are the two people?
Roman Reigns was one, but
Okay.
the absolute handing off the torch moment would have been Bray Wyatt. Those are the only two people that should have beat Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Oh, here's a question for you then. When you say Roman Reigns, do you mean the tribal chief Roman Reigns, or do you mean Big Dog Roman Reigns?
Big Dog, like he did 2 to 3 years. What was it? 2 years later.
Yeah. Oh, mm, I
Because
remember watching that.
I think Roman beating him and showing that he can put in the work and Mark or Undertaker has the confidence in him and like it'd be like giving him the rub to get him over and hopefully and it worked got him to that next level.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see
The
that.
only
I can see
reason
your
why.
point of view. Yeah.
But Bray, like I said, Bray would have been. He's the guy. He's the eater of the streak. That would have been the perfect thing. The eater of worlds ate the streak.
Yeah. I think I agree with that one. I think if anyone was going to beat me, it should have been Bray. But I do agree with you when you say I don't think it should have been broken at all. I think he should have retired with that.
Yeah.
Definitely. I
My
don't. There's no
brother,
need for it to break
my
it.
brother just asked, has anyone picked the Montreal screw job yet?
No. And the reason why I didn't pick the Montreal Screw Job, Scott, is because instead I put Brett and Austin from WrestleMania 13 there. Because again, although the Montreal Screwjob was a real life scenario, I think WrestleMania 13 really set Bret Hart's character in motion to making it feel also kind of kayfabe Survivor
Yeah.
Series 97, if that makes sense. Because he felt like the company, he felt like America had something against him. It's the best work he's ever done of his career in 1997. And I just feel like as a whole, WrestleMania 13 had a bigger impact than the Screwjob. Like the Screwjob lives in infamy because of the controversy that surrounded it. But Bret Hart was always going to leave anyway, and Austin was already on the rise to become the biggest star in wrestling history. That's why I didn't put it in there.
So your number one is up next.
My number one, and I don't know if this is going to surprise you, because it came to mind and I was like, actually, yeah, this kind of deserves to be like either number one or number two. My number one is the brand split in 2002.
Okay.
And I'll explain that very simply. The brand split gave younger talent, unknown talent, even mid-card talent the opportunity to become the guy on that brand. Now, obviously, on SmackDown, you had your Kurt Angles and your Undertakers. On Raw, you had your Triple H's, your Shawn Michaels. But SmackDown especially, if we don't get this brand split, there's a very good chance that Edge doesn't become a household name. There's a very good chance that Rey Mysterio doesn't get the rub. Eddie Guerrero doesn't become WWE champion. You wouldn't have JBL for better or for worse. There's even a chance, and I dare to say this, that you won't get another 10 years of The Undertaker without the brand split.
Yeah.
Now, Undertaker is very synonymous with SmackDown, but would there have been room for him later on in his career if both of the brands were still together? I'm going to probably say no. I'll tell you who else you might not get at the top of the card. Might not get Brock Lesnar. It just let the different rosters breathe. And the first brand split did so much good for WWE. You had the cruiserweight division, which was fantastic. You had the women's division, for better or for worse, which was given its own spot on Raw. Yes, a lot of it was just bra and panties matches, but you also had your Molly Holly's killing it, your Lita's killing it, your Trish Stratus is killing it, Victoria's killing it. Tag team division on SmackDown was given the opportunity to absolutely shine with Los Guerreros, with Edge and Rey Mysterio. We had Rob Van Dam killing it on SmackDown for that while. Booker T really was able to make a name for himself when he was given the opportunity on SmackDown, and then even some of the veterans, like your Undertakers, because of the brand split, were still given their place on that roster, like the Big Show. One of Brock Lesnar's first big rivals was the Big Show, and fair play, it was a very interesting rivalry. Now, there's been a lot of other brand splits. Obviously, you had the one in 2016, which I absolutely loved. But the brand split from 2002 is one of the most important things that has ever happened in WWE. Look, like probably the biggest product of the brand split is John Cena. Does John Cena even get an opportunity to be the Doctor of Thugonomics without the brand split on SmackDown? Probably not.
Now, it's funny you mentioned Cena, because there's 3 of them that didn't make my list that I struggled with not putting them in there. And Cena was part of one of them. It was his debut when he comes out and he slaps Kurt Angle, and the Ruthless Aggression era was essentially started when he just looked at Kurt Angle and said, "Ruthless aggression."
Yes.
He doesn't do that. We don't have, I mean, we might have had the Ruthless Aggression era, but we wouldn't have what we have now. We wouldn't have the PG, we wouldn't have went through the PG era with Cena wearing Fruity Pebbles. We wouldn't have had that. The guy that they would have probably pushed to the moon is a dude named Dave Batista.
Yep. Who also, by the way, because of the brand split, was given more opportunity to breathe. Same with Randy Orton on Raw. Randy Orton on Raw, his IC title run, iconic.
My other 2, one was the curtain call.
Yeah, that was one of mine as well.
I thought that was probably one of the most, that broke kayfabe. I mean, that legitimately killed it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that was the essentially the formation of the NWO before the NWO formed, because Hall and Nash took their ball and went over to WCW.
Yep, they did. I mean, speaking of something ending, like you say, kayfabe there. On my list of honorable mentions was Vince shaking Austin's hand, essentially ending the Attitude Era.
Yeah, that was
WrestleMania 17. That a lot of people regard that as the end of the Attitude Era. That is the end of WWE's most popular era.
There's one more, and the night that Shane appeared on, what was it, Monday Night Raw? Simulcast. From Panama City. It was the last WCW Nitro. It was after WCW. That one, I struggled not to get that. I struggled to try to find a spot, but it just wasn't iconic enough to make my top 5. But
the name on the contract does say McMahon. That's so good.
Yeah. It was. It
So
was
good.
just. It again. That was the end. That signified the end of WCW too, and
Yeah,
it was the fact that what was it? Sting and Flair was the main event of that night.
it was. Yeah, and Booker T won the world title on the last night against Scott Steiner.
Yep.
It was a good nitro, actually, to be honest. It was very good nitro, and it was really good. I think the Filthy Animals were in a tag team match as well as yeah.
Definitely
Kid
not
Romeo,
Vince
and Rey
Russo
Mysterio was
booking.
in a great tag team match.
It was definitely not the Vince Russo booking. So I mean, there's that.
Oh no, bro, it wasn't, bro.
But yeah, it was. Uh, I don't know. I think that this our top 10 we collectively put together was really good. Do you have
It was.
um, any other honorable mentions that we didn't actually go over?
I was tempted to say Vince or TKO buying WWE or Endeavor. I think that's changed the business forever. NXT, I was very tempted to just put NXT Takeover 2015 because if you go back and look at those people that were on that pay per view, I mean, you got Sasha and Bailey in the Iron Woman match. You got Kevin Owens and Finn Balor for the championship. You got so many moments on that pay per view, and then that pretty much essentially launched takeovers into, hey, Takeover was better than the WWE pay per view this weekend. Yeah, I know it happens every single time. Era of NXT.
Yeah. Another one, Black Saturday. When
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
another one that was discussed. Cody actually threw that in there. Black Saturday. Um, when Vince, and then of course in 1989, when Vince went to the New Jersey State Athletic Commission and told them that wrestling was fake.
To save his ass.
Yep. In 1989, that happened.
Yep.
Um, Along with, I mean, another one that Vince really was able to throw out there. He made WWE into a publicly traded company.
Oh yeah, for it. Yeah. And
Um,
was that 2000 or 2001 when they went public?
yep. Um,
Yep. The steroid trial
yep.
made WWE focus on more slimmer talent.
We could even go to the debut episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yep. Changed it forever.
Changed
Definitely.
it changed the way us as fans look at pro wrestling.
Yeah, as a weekly product, which like back then I probably wasn't. I mean, it was unheard of.
But I mean, these are the things that you think of after the fact, like we're doing right now. That's what makes the universe of WWE or the universe of pro wrestling in general such a great place because there's so many memories and so many throwbacks that we can talk about. And quite honestly, like everything that we've talked about, and again, I think the old head in me is better than most of the stuff we're saying right now.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's open conversations about. Yeah, like I say, you can talk about current things, and that's what our Friday podcast is for. But it's also nice to delve into nostalgia, like the happy parts of wrestling. And like I say, like what you were just saying about like the history of wrestling there, I don't regret my top five, but it just goes to show you that you have so much to pick from there. And people have their own interpretations. It's like Scott said before, as no one picked the Montreal screw job. You had Cody saying, Black Saturday, Hogan beating Iron Sheik for the title. So many interesting things that people that would probably pick. But that's the beauty of wrestling, man. People have their own formulations of history and what's important to them and what's special to them, and that's why everyone's list would have been is probably going to be different. And like mine and yours, like we had 5 there, we had 10 as a whole. None of us were the same.
Luger slamming Yokozuna on the 4th of July on the USS Intrepid.
That is such an American pick. America, yeah.
Fuck yeah. So I mean, we got 9 minutes left. I want to thank everyone. We had a lot of engagement this time around. Scott, of course, the boss showing up.
Hell yeah.
To hang out with us in the chat. That was awesome.
We love comments, Matt, like we love questions as well. Put like any questions down there, like, if you ever want to ask us anything.
Matt the Duelist, Malik, Cody, Sean, thanks for stopping in, guys. I really appreciate you all. This is what I mean. This is one of the funner shows we've done. I think like it just to think about how we both see the business and how things like shook out from there, and you see in every single one of them that we mentioned, it was a domino effect. Like like everything that was done tipped dominoes, and it went a certain, like the business went into a certain direction. It'd be interesting to see what happens if that one domino doesn't fall that way.
I agree. Yeah, like a what if? What if this never happened? Yeah.
So I think we're doing. I should be doing a Thursday show with Scott. We're going to be talking U.S. football. We're going to be talking the NFL, college football.
USA.
And then Friday is our current show right now. That I know of. I know that I'll be there. I know Scott will be there. Not sure who else is going to show up. Rhys, as always, you are invited. If you're not doing anything, please stop by.
I'll do my best.
Give your wealth of knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
And then a quick one in 2 weeks' time. Let me get my dates correct before I spout off at the mouth. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Thursday, we will be having the one, the only Buff Bagwell on a special edition of Break It Down Radio. That is our title for the Friday show, but we're moving it to Thursday to accommodate for Buff Bagwell. And we'll be talking about, it'll be me, Scott, and Rico throwing questions at him and talking about his time in WCW and just his career in general and the trials and tribulations he faced growing up. It should be a good show. Should be a real good talk.
I look forward to watching that. That should be a real interesting talk.
That one, probably gonna have to catch that one on replay, Rhys, because it's at about 9:30 at night, my time.
Yeah.
So, but again, I see now he was listening to us today, Rhys. I think we give him a week off.
I agree. I think it'd be a bit harsh of us to say. I do just want to give a quick shout out. Apparently, I've not seen it yet, but I've heard a lovely little rumor that Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch had a barn burner of a match last night. So I'll be very excited to go and watch that. So if anyone hasn't seen Raw yet, go check out the Maxine and Becky match, because apparently it was fantastic. Like match of the year quality, apparently.
Now I feel like you're ribbing me.
I'm not being sarcastic, dude. No, have you not seen these things? All right, so you go and watch Raw, right? Apparently, this match was off the chain. I'm not being sarcastic, seriously.
Oh, I mean,
really? I'm just as surprised as you.
You're probably as surprised as what LA Knight was when Punk said what he said to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I was gonna say no, I've not seen it, and I am planning to go and watch it. So if anyone else hasn't seen it, go and check it out.
And again, guys, thank you. Appreciate you all. I don't have anything smart assy or like rude to say to anybody. But we'll see. We'll just see you next time.